welcome to Newswatch. It is Friday, the 4th of September 2020, and we have the latest stories lined up for you. My name is Tonny Omondi, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Let's begin with our top story tonight. Now, Jubilee Vice Chairman David Murathe has appeared before the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, where he's been grilled over alleged involvement in the multi-billion shilling KEMSA scandal. Murathe arrived at the EACC offices in Madison House, Upper Hill in Nairobi today afternoon for questioning. Now, Murathe has been linked to Kileg Limited, a firm allegedly awarded 4 billion shillings by KEMSA for the supply of 450,000 personal protective equipment, PPE, at 9,000 shillings each. On Tuesday, Murathe had acknowledged that one of the directors of the said company was his longtime friend and business partner, though Murathe denied any involvement in the multi-billion shilling tender awarded to Kileg Limited. This also comes as company's directors who did business with KEMSA also appeared before the National Assembly Health Committee over procurement issues on Thursday. Murathe has called on investigative agencies to summon everyone mentioned on this scandal, including Deputy President William Ruto.
Usifunike, usiblock. Zoom tu. Toka nani, toka. Where are your masks? Where's yours? Mama is part of the staff. Huh? Where is it? Here. Where? This way, right here. Who are you?
Now, as anti-corruption agencies continue with probing government scandals, the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP Nuruddin Haji, has ordered the arrest and prosecution of Tharaka Nithi Governor Muthomi Njuki, as well as various county officials over the irregular award of a solid waste project contract worth over 34 million shillings. According to the DPP, Westomax Investments Limited, a company that had allegedly submitted fraudulent documents, was awarded the tender at a cost of 34.9 million shillings. Haji also wants Frida Muthoni Murungi, Chief Officer, Environment and Natural Resources, Highton Murithi Njue, Finance Officer, Teresia Kagoji Mburia, Finance Officer, and others arrested over irregularities. The tender, according to DPP, was entered into between the Chief Officer, Environment, Frida Muthoni, and Westomax Investments Limited, and the contractor issued with an LPO before the expiry of 14 days following the giving of a Notification and Asset Disposal Act 2015, contrary to the public procurement. And now, Larry Member of Parliament, MP Jonah Mburu, has been arrested alongside 4 other suspects in connection to 27 million shilling CDF funds that are alleged to have been stolen. Mburu, who was arrested by detectives from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, is expected to be arraigned on Monday next week. He is accused of using various companies in respect of contracts allegedly awarded irregularly for the construction of ICT hubs, sport activities, and various schools projects. His arrest follows that of Malindi MP Aisha Juma, who was also charged with issues related to the misappropriation of CDF funds, and Dickens Livanda reports.
The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, ODPP, the Anti-Graft Agency, EACC, and the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, DCI, have intensified the war on corruption in the country, especially cases touching on high-profile individuals.
Mimi mahakama hii nitaingia na kutoka.
Few days after Malindi MP Aisha Juma was charged and released on a 2 million shillings cash bail by Mombasa court over alleged embezzlement of 57 million shillings, Malindi National Government Constituency Development Fund, NGCDF, investigative agencies have pounced on Larry MP Jonah Mburu and his associates. DPP Nuruddin Haji on Friday morning ordered for the immediate arrest of Mburu, who is accused of defrauding the Constituency Development Fund CDF kitty over 27 million shillings. The MP was arrested alongside 4 other suspects, namely Ayan Mahandhi, who is the CDF account manager in Lare constituency, Peter Mugomwangi, the chairman of Lare National Government CDF, Grace Mudhoni Masharia, a contractor, Francis Gashoka Kamuyu, who is the clerk of works Lare National Government CDF, with one Polu Nyanjui Musheru, a contractor, being asked to present himself at the Integrity Center for questioning in Nairobi. The 5 have been arrested over payments to various companies in respect of contracts allegedly awarded irregularly for the construction of ICT hubs, sport activities and various schools projects in the financial year 2017-2018 and financial year 2018-2018. EACC, in a statement on Friday, said the fraud was executed using various companies owned by the suspects, including Claymark General Supplies, Kenjeku Textile and Uniform Supplies, Rumuli Company Limited, Ocean General Merchant, Oshland Greens Ventures, Demeki Company Limited, Kimondo and Sons General Supplies, and Pambazuko Distributors Limited, which is allegedly owned by the lawmaker. The 6 will spend the weekend in custody before being arraigned on Monday to face at least 6 counts, including abuse of office, conspiracy to commit an economic crime, unlawful acquisition of public property, dealing with suspect property, acting without authorization, and conflict of interest. Dickon Sylvander, Hope TV Newswatch.
Now on to COVID-19 situation. The country has recorded 179 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours after a sample size of 4,178 was tested, raising the country's total number of infections to 34,884. The new cases come from a sample size of 4,178 that health officials took for testing. From the cases, 162 are Kenyans, while 17 are foreigners. At the same time, 415 patients have recovered from the disease, 161 from the home-based care program, and 245 were discharged from various hospitals, bringing the total number of recoveries to 21,059. 4 patients have succumbed to the disease, bringing the total fatality in the country to 589. The distribution of cases by counties show that Nairobi leads with 66, followed by Garissa with 21, Turkana 12, Nakuru 12, Busia 11, Taita Taveta 10, Kiambu 9, Kitui 6, Kisumu 5, Kajiado 3, Machakos 3, Kericho 3, Nyamira 3, Trans Nzoia 3, Kisii 2, Mombasa 2, Laikipia 2, Nyeri 2, Kilifi 1, Baringo 1, Murang'a 1, and Uasin Gishu 1. The Maendeleo ya Wanawake organization Nyeri branch has accused Deputy President William Ruto and politicians allied to him of politicizing the current alleged COVID-19 scandal at the KEMSA. The organization, led by its chairperson Purity Ngunjiri, defended Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe, saying he is being targeted in the ongoing COVID-19 supplies scandal ahead of the 2022 general elections. They've now called on investigative agencies to conduct thorough investigations to bring out the persons behind the scam.
We have seen the side the deputy president is taking, to be honest. And those are the ones, because if we mentioned them and even whatever activities are being done, we know they are the ones who are politicizing this. Na zile kazi amekuwa akifanya, hajahusishwa kamwe kwa hiyo mambo ya corruption. Kwa hivyo, hata tukisema hivyo, ni vile mwenye kumuappoint the head of state ule alimpatia hiyo kazi ya CS, kuna kitu alikuwa ameona ndani yake.
All right, Newswatch takes a short commercial break. We'll be back with more stories making headlines in the country. Do stay with us.
Welcome to Garden of Joy in Machakos by HopeTvKenya. This is a gated community that is strategically located only 7 minutes drive from Koma town and 1.3 kilometers off the tarmac. It comes with a beautiful gate, chain link fence around the property, internal murram roads, a borehole for steady water supply, a jogging track, a meditation park, and a children's play area. The title deeds are ready. Get your value-added plot at only 1.295 million shillings cash price. We also have flexible payment options of up to 12 months. Call us today on 0702 8310 83 or visit www.optiven.co.ke.
Some people say they know about our hustle, but believe me, this is no regular job. You know about that early start? Not that one. The start before that early start. You sat for an exam? Add a cat to the mix, due tomorrow. Plus a part-time job for those student loans. Now we're talking about a hustle. Don't forget about that side hustle that you hope will one day be your main hustle. So, to stay focused through it all, we need the perfect cup to fuel winning in life. Try Nescafe 3-in-1.
At CETM Schools, we are offering online classes via the G Suite education platform in all 7 schools across the country. These classes run from 1st of September 2020 to November 2020. We will be offering assignments and productive projects, very affordable yet quality service, personalized and interactive sessions, real-time feedback on progress of learners, life skills, guidance and counseling, and Bible clubs. This is open to non-CETM pupils and promises to be an exciting learning experience in an environment that embodies biblical values. To enroll, please log on to www.cetamschools.sc.ke. CETM Schools, educating the whole person.
Dunia ni mali ya Bwana na vyote vijazavyo.
Nguruwe ni mali ya Bwana au?
Ni mali ya Bwana.
Bata ni mali ya Bwana?
Ni mali.
Wewe kula basi. Acha mambo mengi.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Muislamu yoyote ambaye anamkataa Yesu, kwanza sisi tunamjua ni kafiri.
Bila huyu Yesu, mtu aendi kwa Baba.
Ungana na walimu wa neno wanapochambua masuala tata katika Biblia, wakiyalinganisha na vitabu vingine vya kidini.
Je, kuna ushahidi wowote Muhammad aliwahi na Qur'ani? Na hii Qur'ani muliitoa wapi? Halo?
Piga simu moja kwa moja na pia uchangie kupitia SMS na Facebook.
Itawezekana kitabu cha Biblia ambaye mwanakiamini kuwa ni kitabu cha Mwenyezi Mungu ishindwe kumtabiri mtu ambaye ana wafuasi zaidi ya bilioni 100 duniani.
Je, Muhammad amekufa ama yuko hai?
Ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 2 hadi saa 4 ya usiku kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Hope TV.
Whether you are fat or thin, and for me, I don't consider myself fat. I consider myself good for my purpose, to hug women. When they come crying, and they come and hug me, they just come and I hug them and they cry and cry and cry until they are comfortable.
We praise together, we praise Him.
Welcome back. You're watching Hope TV News Watch. Health Chief Administrative Secretary Dr. Mercy Mwangangi has stressed the need for increased collaboration in the health sector to address challenges faced by midwives and nurses in the country. Dr. Mwangangi said the collaboration will help to solve the challenges and also help advance the practice to greater heights. Nurses and midwives, she said, account for 50% of healthcare workforce and have a great opportunity to have their grievances addressed easily when they speak with one voice. She was speaking during a webinar hosted by the National Nurses Association of Kenya, NAC, to commemorate the International Year of the Nurse and the Midwife.
Is Parliament aware that we don't even recognize critical care nurses? Are they aware in terms of anesthetists? We have anesthetist-trained nurses who are sitting and who are not being utilized in a day and age where we are saying we now require that critical care. And so it becomes important perhaps as a fraternity to be able to also have a political economy arm into how you put in place some of these procedures and strategies for play. Key achievements in the health sector in Kenya have been instrumental through the work of nurses and midwives. And moving on to coronavirus disease, indeed, this has brought to the forefront the critical role played by our healthcare workers. As far as the nursing fraternity is concerned, we have many, many nurses contributing to the coronavirus pandemic fight in all the different task forces, in all the different, should I say, intervention areas. We have a lot of participation from this fraternity.
We are in the process of reviewing our scope of practice so that we have a paradigm shift from that traditional nurse to the nurse of today and the nurse of tomorrow, to a more clinical nurse, a more decisive nurse, a nurse who is able to take control of her environment.
And property worth millions of shillings went up in flames at the Kisii County Assembly after a fire outbreak earlier today. Among the affected sections were the Hansard communications system in the chambers and the public gallery. The cause of the fire was not immediately established. Speaking after visiting the assembly, Governor James Ongwae, who ordered the assembly to be sealed off, instructed the police to expedite investigations to ascertain the cause and the motive of the fire. The governor also said no documents were damaged during the incident that largely targeted the assembly's debating arena. House Speaker David Kombo, who also visited the scene, was shocked to see the house on fire when electricity had been switched off for maintenance. The fight against drug and alcohol abuse in Mombasa has received a boost after Kenya Ports Authority donated 1 million shillings to the Miritini Rehabilitation Center to be utilized in rehabilitation and support programs. This follows a partnership between the Kenya Ports Authority, KPA, and the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, NACADA, which is mandated to fight alcohol and drug abuse in the country. During the handover, NACADA board chair, Professor Mabel Imbuga, revealed that the organization is keen on ensuring that the Miritini project positively contributes to the fight against alcohol and drug abuse, a major challenge facing the youth in the coast region.
Our greatest concern is the upsurge in the drug abuse in our schools, in both primary and secondary, and also in institutions of higher learning, universities, technical institutions, and also in the workplace, where productivity is undermined by addiction-related illnesses, absenteeism, and reduced hour of productive work. The coast region is one of the most affected regions in the country, as evidenced by the number of people using drugs, especially the young people in the drug dens and streets. It is against this background that the Miritini Drug Rehabilitation Center was established following a presidential directive in 2015 that saw the transformation of the former National Youth Service substation in Miritini into a drug rehabilitation center managed by NACADA.
Alcohol and drug abuse has a potential to negatively affect our health, safety, and productivity and overall performance of our employees, which results in a low performance in the different units that we have in Kenya Ports Authority. With the issue of workplace substance use, we've been addressing it, established comprehensive programs together with NACADA for a positive look or a win-win situation for both us as employers and employees.
The government has commenced the process of re-establishing regional and county planning offices in a bid to monitor implementation of projects. The State Department for Planning Principal Secretary Saitoti Torome said the move was aimed at ensuring effective monitoring and tracking of national government projects at the regional and county levels. Speaking in Nyeri during a meeting with National Government Administration officers led by Central Regional Commissioner, the PS said the offices will be crucial in offering technical support to ensure projects are done to the required standards. Many of the government projects have stalled for lack of proper monitoring mechanisms.
We want to re-establish the regional and the county planning offices because of the fact that the national government implements a lot of projects in counties, particularly projects that have impact on 2 counties. For us now to monitor effectively and to track down the implementation of those projects, we require officers, technical officers, who will work very closely with the Ngao. And when I talk about the Ngao, I mean the county, the regional coordinator, and the county commissioners.
ICTCS Joe Mushero said there has been a significant uptake on the use of technology during the COVID-19 times, which has created a lot of efficiencies and reduced spending within government. Mushero said that across counties and national governments, including the legislature as well as the judiciary, the uptake of technology has been unprecedented, where court cases are being done through online services, same as cabinet meetings and international meetings.
Across government, national and county governments, and even with the legislature as well as the judiciary, the uptake of technology has been unprecedented. Court cases are being done through online services, as well as cabinet meetings are being held. Even international meetings, IGAD meetings, meetings with the United Nations are all being handled right now using technology. So the way technology has developed and has grown, and the way the country has implemented the infrastructure that we've put in place, both as government and the private sector, has enabled Kenya to take full advantage of the technology opportunities that have arisen, primarily because it's been difficult for people to meet during this pandemic time. But with technology, we can still have efficient meetings, we can still achieve the objectives that we had. And so there's been a significant uptake on use of technology. It's created a lot of efficiencies. So travel time is reduced, times of spending even within government, because we're using technology, people on video conferencing.
And as the clamor for review of the Constitution gains momentum, a member of Siaya County Assembly wants the document to make it mandatory for the state to provide affordable housing to the needy. Leonard Oriaro, the Central Alego Ward member of County Assembly, said the document must explicitly spell out the duty of both national and county governments in ensuring that the poor in both urban and rural areas have affordable housing. He was speaking to the media when he handed over semi-permanent houses to widows in his ward. The MCA lamented that whereas shelter was amongst the basic needs of humanity, the issue was not adequately captured in the Constitution that only talks of the right to shelter without apportioning responsibility, and called on Kenyans to push for its inclusion now that the document is ripe for review.
The one thing that is not included in the BBI reforms is the aspect of governmental welfare on the part of the relations between the public and those who govern. Let it be that with the new reforms, they create rooms that will attract support from elsewhere, where they will look into the lives of those who can't make it, the lives of the plebeians. In Central Alego alone, I've got 600 widows who are very, very vulnerable. This was but one of them. They really need shelter. They really need roof on their head. They have got their children. Some are elderly. So in such like programs, it will be the duty of the government to doing it.
Niko na watoto 5. Sasa ikafika mahali ambapo siwezi lala na watoto wote hapo kwa hiyo nyumba. Hiyo nyumba sasa ilikuwa ni ndogo hata pia. Ikafika mahali ambapo nyumba sasa pia ilikuwa imeanguka. Sasa sikuwa na mahali pa kunini. Sikuwa na nyumba ambayo naishi ndani.
Let's take another short commercial break on News Watch. When we come back, we'll be looking at business news.
Happy New Month to each and every one of you. This coming Sunday, the 6th of September, at the CBS Family Service, join CITIM's presiding Bishop Dr. David Ogende as he takes us through the topic, Discerning God's Voice. In such times, it is important to know whose voice you're listening to. So, please join us live at 10 a.m. on Hope TV, Hope FM, and all CITIM Church online social media platforms.
Dunia ni mali ya Bwana na vyote vijazavyo.
Nguruwe ni mali ya Bwana au?
Ni mali ya Bwana.
Bata ni mali ya Bwana?
Ni mali.
Wewe kula basi. Acha mambo mengi.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Muislamu yoyote ambaye anamkataa Yesu, kwanza sisi tunamjua ni kafiri.
Bila huyu Yesu, mtu aendi kwa Baba.
Ungana na walimu wa neno wanapochambua masuala tata katika Biblia, wakiyalinganisha na vitabu vingine vya kidini.
Je, kuna ushahidi wowote Muhammad aliwahi ona Qur'an? Na hii Qur'ani muliitoa wapi? Halo?
Piga simu moja kwa moja na pia uchangie kupitia SMS na Facebook.
Itawezekana kitabu cha Biblia ambaye mwanakiamini kuwa ni kitabu cha Mwenyezi Mungu ishindwe kumtabiri mtu ambaye ana wafuasi zaidi ya bilioni 100 duniani.
Je, Muhammad amekufa ama yuko hai?
Ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 2 hadi saa 4 ya usiku kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Hope TV.
Our Christian life is not just about God always stepping in when you are in trouble. But sometimes you need to go through the valley of the shadow of death, and God will say, angels, stand away. He must go through that. She must go through that. Because out of this would come something greater and more beautiful.
Welcome back. Pan-African Housing Development Financier Shelter Africa has received $9.4 million from the Federal Republic of Nigeria, being the first tranche of the $29.3 million the country has committed in additional capital subscription. The contribution moves Nigeria to the second largest shareholding in the organization with 14.87% of the shareholding, behind Kenya with 14.77%. Ahead of the AFDB at 14.28%. The housing financier also confirmed the receipt of a further $6.6 million in additional capital contributions from Rwanda, Uganda, Lesotho, Mali, Namibia, Togo, Zimbabwe, and Swaziland. Speaking in Nairobi, Shelter Africa's Group Managing Director Andrew Chimponda lauded the government of Nigeria for its show of confidence in the institution and a stamp of approval for the organization's financial turnaround. The Salaries and Remuneration Commission is set to adopt a raft of policies in its bid to improve transparency, accountability, and equity in public sector remuneration as it seeks to lower the wage bill. SRC Chair Lynn Mengich, speaking during the launch of the third public sector remuneration cycle, said they will conduct 3 distinct salary surveys to establish current compensation levels and trends, including policies and practices to inform salary structures. Mark Kimondo reports.
Salaries and Remuneration Commission was set up under Article 230 of the Kenyan Constitution to set, review, advise on remuneration and benefits in public service sector. The third remuneration cycle that has been launched today shall be anchored on the principles of pay determination as set in Article 234 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 to ensure sustainability. SRC Chairperson Lynn Mengich revealed that the Commission is set to conduct comparative surveys on labour trends and remuneration with the aim of determining the monetary worth of the jobs in the public sector.
So this launch today is the beginning of a process that will involve 4 main processes. We will be carrying out a job evaluation to determine the relative worth of jobs, and that will form the basis for assigning a rationalized pay structure.
Due to the lack of a common policy framework to guide determination and payment of allowances in the public sector, different institutions are forced to pay allowances using different justifications, eligibility, criteria, rates, and modes of payment. SRC Commission is expected to conduct 3 distinctive salary surveys, including salary survey that will inform all public sector institutions, salary survey to benchmark job-selected private sector institutions, and lastly, international survey of anchor state offices' jobs.
However, in itself, the survey results will not determine the salary structure, because that has to be looked at in the context of the job evaluation results that determine the grading. And it will also be looked at in the context of affordability and sustainability.
However, all the public sector institutions are expected to participate in the job evaluation and salary survey process. In the meantime, SRC is planning to issue a policy framework that will streamline the management of allowances in a bid to improve transparency and accountability. According to SRC, wage bill as a percentage of revenue dropped from 57.3% in 2013-2014 to 48.1% in 2018-2019. The Commission mandate on wage bill will still remain to ensure the trend is physically sustainable.
So the Commission will in due course be issuing a policy for management of allowances in the public sector.
The wage bill at 48.1% of revenue is above the Public Finance Management Act target of not more than 35% of revenue, thus crowding out resources that could be used for development priorities. Mark Kimondo, Newswatch, Nairobi.
Safaricom Foundation's Ndoto Zetu initiative has supported 6 groups in Kwale and Kilifi counties with economic empowerment projects worth 800,000 shillings, impacting close to 4,000 people in the 2 counties. In Kwale County, Shamvulani Mwache Fishermen and Traders Association received water pumps and fish coolers, while Huhezane and Taro groups benefited from baking equipment and a posho meal, respectively. Through the initiative, Safaricom Foundation asks Kenyans to share their dreams and aspirations that they hope to achieve that will have a positive impact on their communities. During the first phase of the initiative last year, the foundation implemented over 300 projects across 40 counties at a cost of 30 million shillings, reaching more than 50,000 people.
And we have actually managed to hand over projects that are actually impacting well over 3,900 families within the coast region, spanning from Taita Taveta. We have been to Kwale, we have been to Mombasa, and now this is Kilifi. We are hoping that in future we will get projects for Tana River and Lamu. These are basically in areas of health and economic empowerment, and we have actually seen what the projects are actually doing to the women group and the groups on the ground.
The end of this live broadcast tonight. Thank you so much for watching Hope TV News, which I'll see you again on Monday. My name is Tonny Omondi, and our sign language interpreter has been Boniface Muridhi. Have a blessed weekend.